Happy Flosstube Friday, friends. My name is Kari. This is Tiger Lily Designs. Welcome to Flosstube episode 102. Yay! Welcome! I'm back. She's back. It's been a hot minute. I've got lots to tell you, lots of stories. I didn't mean to be gone for this long, but I told you guys I was going on vacation, a little bit of travels, a little bit of trips, and it just got away from me. But here we are. I've got lots to share. Table is full. My list is here. As I love to do, we're going to dive right into the table of contents so you know exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So it's a full page, friends. Yeah. So let's just review real quickly what we're going to be talking about today. I do have some stitching. It's been a month. I hope to goodness I've had some stitching, and I do. I have some whips, some new starts. I went to a retreat, so there's all the things associated with that. Super fun. I visited Acorns and Threads, so I've got some haul from that. So that's the little stitching portion. I divided it up. I didn't know how I was going to divide this up, whether it was going to be like 4 different videos, a little much, whether I was just going to cram it all in one. Hopefully this is not a feature-length Avatar movie. I don't know. I just started, but you know how long it is. We're going to dive right into it. But I just decided to divide it up into kind of like segments of the craft and a little bit of story time, a little bit of shop update, a little bit of all the things. So sometimes if you're just here for the stitching, that's going to be what's first. That's what's going to be first. Flosstube, stitching, and all the stitching stuff. Haul, trips, things related to stitching, right? Great. Then we're going to go to that corner of the table. We've got knitting. So knitting whips, knitting progress, knitting new starts, knitting haul, knitting. Okay. Then we go to this corner of the table, and that I'm calling the family treasures corner. There's a story associated with that, but it's lots of things in the world of family treasures. Super fun, all making and associated things. So that's fun. There is some stitching in there. Vintage. Kari stitched it in 1989 stitching over there. Yeah, so that's fun. And then I got a little bit of story to tell you about Noah and Lily. That's fun little family personal update. And then a Tiger Lily shop update at the end, as I always just pop that in the end in case that's not your jam. Okay, so in theory, I mean, it only took me 2 minutes to go through the table of contents, so we should be totally good, right? Oh my goodness. We're just going to dive right in. And do I think that I'm going to be ping-ponging all over the place? Little, not ping-pong, pinball. Pinball. Anyway, we're starting off great, aren't we? Yay! Okay, let's dive into some stitching. Fun, right? Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit of my story, how we got into the stitching. So I left you guys, and I don't remember what it was. We're just going to start story time. Story time, Kari got on a plane. Yay! And went to the Queen City Sampler Guild retreat, which was technically it was in Kentucky, but it was right across the river from Ohio. So I flew into Ohio, got to stay with my bestie Shelly for the weekend. It was so fun. So flew in, came in day early so we could have a little bit of fun. We did some fun. So moral of the story is, since I was flying during all my adventures, I don't have a lot of my haul from the Queen City Sampler Guild. We got so much stuff. I did bring some of it. One of those things where I took what I wanted to, because in case I wanted to stitch on it, I brought that with me. But all the good stuff, like we went antiquing. So I have a whole little corner of one of the rooms in the grist mills, like, Kari's corner right here, because I'm coming back for StitchCon. And so when I go back, I'm going to have my car. So anyway, got lots of stuff. I don't have any of that haul to show you. I don't have a lot of the swag that we got from the guild, but moral of the story, it was fantastic. So we had so much fun. We did antiquing. We went to Keepsakes. We did all the things with the retreat, which was like Thursday night. Yeah. Thursday night was a dinner on the river. There was only like 18 or 20 of us, and Nicola came, and it was so fantastic. And she like hugged everybody thinking like, hey, you're my new bestie. Like, it was just beyond, just a great kickoff to the weekend. And so then we went to Keepsakes on Friday, and we kitted up a fun little, I'm a big souvenir, like I love souvenirs for trips, right? Memories associated with all the things. And so Shelly and I kitted up something when we were at Keepsakes that was going to be like the memory for the weekend. We both started it later on. So I do have that stitch to show you. Yeah, it's over here. Let me story time, and then I'll show you some things. And then we went to the meet and greet was Friday night, which was basically at the hotel, and we got to stitch and meet and chat with all the friends. And so I got to meet so many new friends and stitchers, some that I had met at StitchCon before, some that I had met yet, some that I only knew like via the interwebs. So I got to see them and talk to them in person. It was so much fun. You know, hobbies of Holly. We've chatted for almost a year, I think, on like internet. He's chatty. So sweet to be able to chat with her and sit with her and talk in person like so many times this weekend. So sweet. So many people. I'm not going to even like begin to name drop, but we had so much fun. Jen, Nazca, and Kim Store, we like me and Shelly and then Merritt, we like all went to Cracker Barrel. Fantastic. Love me some Cracker Barrel, and we had a little dinner, and it was so much fun. And so we kind of like chummed around and might have started something also kind of bonkers. And I have that too. Look at me. Okay, stitching. Shall we? Let's go into the stitching. So let's just kick off. This was the bag from the Queen City Sampler Guild. So this is the chart that was exclusive for the retreat. It's got, I think, 7 specialty stitches on it. And so this retreat was kind of set up more as a workshop, right? So I have only been, this was my fourth retreat ever. So all the other retreats I've been to, StitchCon, totally social, like no designer, just social it up, right? Chantel's was also, there was a designer there, but it was kind of, anyway, this was my only like workshop exclusive retreat, first time I had been there. And so instead of having the round tables, which, you know, Chatty Cathy, I'm one of those people like maybe in elementary school, I got a little bit better when I was in high school. I focused, you know, focused on the task at hand. But I might have on my report card gotten the, she does well, but she talks a lot. Yeah. Sorry. So I was like bummed when I found out that the tables weren't round tables because, you know, I was let's say 90% of the fun of a stitching retreat for me is the friends and the fun and the chatting and the being able to be with my stitchy friends, because there aren't any local to me here. Well, there's a couple, but we don't make any time to get together, which we should do, ladies. But anywho, stitchy retreat, right? Round. I was so excited, but then I was like, if there were long workshopy classroom type tables, which was at the request of the designer, which is fantastic. I won't say that I wasn't upset about it in the first, because I wanted to talk with my friends, but it all worked out great. I had friends next to me, and then I had friends in front of me, and so they were turning it around. They were getting in trouble. They didn't really get in trouble, but you know, it's fun. Anyway, so this was the retreat. This is the stitch exclusive for the retreat. It's Margaret Hutton. It's a workshop for the Queen City Sampler Guild. So fun. Beautiful. Like I said, it's got 7 specialty stitches, and that was the point of the retreat, was for Nicola, the queen of stitching, in my world at least, to teach some of these specialty stitches. I don't even remember what they were. I'll be honest. Last time I went to our workshop where we learned specialty stitches, I won't name any names, but I had someone next to me. You know who you are. And we were kind of failing the class. And we kind of did. We kind of just failed the class. I didn't fail this time. Look at me. We did cross stitch. That's not a specialty stitch. Alternating double back stitch, rice stitch, 4-sided stitch, Algerian eyelets, double running stitch, and the queen stitch. So fun. And I will tell you that I have tried and successfully navigated all the stitches during class. So I say I didn't fail. Yay me. Now this is where we are. Let's see if I remember what this was. We had a choice when we signed up for the retreat, whether we wanted 36 or 40, I think were the choices. There might have been 32, but I think it was 36 or 40. All the specialty stitches, you had to go on linen because there's some, you know, it is friendly for a lot of stitches, but not for some of the specialty stitches. You have to kind of zig and zag a little too much. So this is 40. I did 36 count because when I signed up 8-9 months ago, I had never touched 40 before. And so I was super scared to pick a kit that I knew I couldn't stitch. So I was happy with my 36 choice. 36. The design is 160 over by 234. And I think it's a tabby cat linen. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me read. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's beautiful. So what you had to do, so the retreat started and Nicola had this beautiful presentation, kind of like a classroom, right? Up on the top with a PowerPoint screen. And she walked through and gave you like history of whether it was this chart. There's lots of different histories and lessons and stitching. And I'll be honest, between you and me, no one else knows. I was a little worried, like, you know, the retreat started, I think, at 10 to 4 both days. This was like 6 hours. Can't talk. I'm going to fail. And I have to, like, I can pay attention. Like, I can do it. But that was a lot of it. And but it was great. It was so great. She did like an hour, you know, did a little lesson. It was all very interesting, fascinating stuff about the girls and the history and the stitching and she had like a couple, I don't have any of them. And there was the Queen of the May was released this weekend as well. So I bought that chart. There was another chart. Totally don't have it. It's in my hall, my Stasho hall at Shelly's house. There was 2 other charts. I bought them all. We bought linen, needle and flax linen. There was a nice smorgasbord of needle and flax linen in all assorted shapes and sizes. So we did get some haul there during the retreat. So fun. But so while the moral of the story, why did I tell you that in the first place? While she did her first lesson, she was telling us, well, if you want to stitch while you're listening, which I did, go ahead and do down the side because the way the specialty stitches are, there's like it's not a band sampler, but each like little section has a new stitch. So, and I'm not going to begin because this was 4 weeks ago. So goodness knows, I'm not going to remember what's what. But this little red line was the first one. Double alternating backstitch. Yeah, look at me. Okay. So there's this one. And then, so she's just said, you know, go ahead and do these little the leaf line borders so that you weren't trying to like count across the world, right? And I'm really bad at counting on linen. I'm just going to be truth here. So I definitely took that advice and got all this down. I don't think I'm to the bottom yet. Actually, look at me. Okay, I am. I did. I didn't iron that part for you. I ironed the top part, but that's as big as it is. That's as tall as it's going to be. And so those are the specialties. So this little red row is a specialty stitch. This little green row is a specialty stitch. Rice, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to go back. The great thing is there was QR codes. When she was teaching the stitches, the fancy stitches, there's a queen stitch. Like, okay, here's my queen stitch. I mean, those are my first, I don't know, 8, 10 queen stitches ever. Not bad. They're not going to be my favorite, I'm going to be truth honest with you. The good news is they're only these little tiny little things and maybe some other ones, but you know, they're a lot of work. They look pretty. So they're fun to just sprinkle in a queen stitch here or there, but I will tell you, I will not be one of those, ooh, give me all the specialty stitches. No. My mind, like, I'd have to focus. This was great for a retreat because I could sit there and focus and there was nothing else to do that day. So I could focus on that. But sometimes I have like 37 things going on in my brain. I feel like that Inside Out Disney movie where there's like all those little tangent. Anyway, whoozy whatsy. So this was the retreat piece. It is gorgeous. I definitely want to get back to, I love those. My little Algerian eyelets, I think. I don't know. I could do it. And it was on 36 count. It was a lot easier. This was on this was my first time stitching with these fancy things. I don't even remember, Soie d'Alger, the silks. Now, I will tell you, I was a little jealous. 103s were what you got if you did 40 count. I've never stitched with 103s, but don't worry, that's coming up next. So this is what came with the 36 count. Super fun. It's 6-stranded, right? And so you're using 1 strand. Sweet, sweet Kim was in charge of making these adorable needle books, which I did use, and you can see I've got the red thread all over that place, so that was perfect. So I just kept that in my bag. This all came with the kit, which was adorable. And then there's also, let me show you. These are just some of the things from my haul that I actually have. So might as well show you what I do have. You know, we got that bag, which was gorgeous. I forget who makes it. I do want to tell you, PT bags, Pinky and Tinker. Oh, I forget. Super adorable little bling. So when I put those silks on floss away bags, which I've never done before. Are you team floss away bag, or are you team put it in a silk, one of those silk savers that Barry from Stitch Folk makes? Those are adorable too. So I can't decide whether I want to do floss away, because I can't, this is not it for me. This little in a tubey thing, once you open it up, I feel like it needs to either be in a floss away bag, which I've never done, or a silk saver bag, which I've never done. The silks I've done, I kind of just make a hot mess of, and I want to do it. I want to be grown up, right? I want to do it correct. So this was a sweet little bling that was, it's got the chart, and then the Queen and the 2024. I love it so much. The Flying Pig, which is a marathon in Cincinnati, Kentucky over there. Who knew? Not me until today. The Queen City Sampler Girl, they got it, their custom charm. So sweet. I love this bling. This is adorable. So I'm excited to put that with my floss for this project. Yay, yay. Sticking with the retreat, let's look at some more stitching, shall we? So like I said, I had never stitched with 103s, right? Well, look. I'm gonna be such a grown-up now. These are 103s. Michelle shared some of her stash so I could start. And this was our gift from Miss Nicola as the retreat. This is Honora Maxwell. It's a love token. It is so sweet. She told us the history of this. First of all, love that there's like history. Look at all these things. So cute. Sweet little stitch. It is super tiny. Let me see if I could tell you. Nope. Oh, so many words. Let's see. Let's see. Well, here we go. 113 by 136. Okay. So sweet. Well, remember I was telling you that Needle and Flax was there. Needle and Flax had, she had a trunk show. I don't know. Nicola got it. Anyway, there was lots of Needle and Flax lit in there. And so Shelly and I each got a 46. Yeah. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. So we each got a yard of 46 different colors, and then we shared it, right? So that's super, super fun. I don't have that to show you because that's at Shelly's house. But 2 different colors of 46 one day will be in my world. But there was also 56. Okay. So Jen, Kim, Shelly, and I were sitting there and we're like, this is what we're going to do. None of us, well, maybe. I know Shelly has stitched on 56 before. I know I never have. I don't think Jen ever has. Pretty sure. Kim might have, but not on the regular, for sure. If she has, it was not on the regular. So this was we're all going to get out of our comfort zone. We're going to do this together and let's go. So we went over to the fabric table. We picked out a yard of 56 count. I don't remember what color we picked. But then we cut it into quarters. And so we each got a quarter yard. Beautiful. It might be Dirty Teacup. It might be Thornfield. I didn't end up with the label, so I don't remember. I'm sure one of the girls will remember, and I'll have to make a note. But the moral of the story is 56 count. Are you kidding me? I need 3 pairs of binoculars and a telescope. No, microscope. The thing. It's okay, but let me just tell you this. This is adorable. What do you need when you're stitching on needs a stretch? What is a luxury when you're stitching on 56 count? First of all, when you stitch on 56 count, everything's like microscopic, right? So look at this tiny 3-inch princess hoop. Now, Shelly had done a little like show and share at one time during the retreat. She just whipped out of her purse, like her purse, the purse that she carries with her all the time. And she has this adorable little sewing kit. It's like this big, right? And she made it, right? It's beautiful. And I think it was like Blackbird fabric or I don't know, but it's French General, pretty sure. Gorgeous. So she flips it open and she pulls out a little tiny hoop, little tiny pair of scissors, little tiny needle, all the little things. Just like it's an emergency stitching kit that she always has in her purse. It's adorable. Jen, Kim, and I were just floored at this tiny little hoop. Okay. Now, sweet, sweet Shelly has quite a collection of hoops. If you haven't seen, she has a hoop love video. She shares all of her hoops. Love them all. But she was so sweet. We were all like, then we all got on the eBay and the Etsy. We were trying to find ourselves 3-inch hoops because we needed some. They were none to be had. Although Kim did get a few percent in there eBay shopping, buying, as ones do. But none of us could find a 3-inch hoop. Well, Shelly was generous enough to share with each of us a 3-inch princess, 3-inch hoop. I think they're all, yeah, I don't know. But mine is a princess hoop. And because I was there, so when we went back to her house after so this was what we did the last day. Because this was like our final departing gift. The retreat is ending. Oh, let me give you a gift from Nicola. And then, we decided to do 56 count. The moral of the story is, look at that. It is the sweetest on this 103. I'm just telling you. Now, so Shelly and I went back and finished it. Now, if you look, Shelly's Instagram, I don't think she's shown any of her stitching. She did do a Queen City Samplery retreat video already. Fantastic. I think I've watched it twice, even though I was there. But but she hasn't shown any of her stitching. I think that's coming today. She has finished the frame. The whole frame. I've done 3 leaves, but I am pretty impressed with myself. My first time on 56 count, and there's actually like leaves and stuff. The coverage of 103 on 56 count. Of course, the coverage is going to be gorgeous, but I kind of really dig it. I kind of really, really like it. It's not like sparse, prim, see-through-y type. It's hard. I mean, like, it's no joke. You have to concentrate. 56 is not like easy breezy comfort stitching. I'm not going to tell you that. But I got it done. I got 3 little bulbs done. And this was one that I took with me because I had big intentions of stitching on it when the frame. But later on, I did not have the mental bandwidth to be able to pull out the magnifier and my 4.0, 5.0, I forget. My glasses still have the stickers on them. That and the magnifier, and I still had to, but stitching. So hopefully, but that's one that we all started it together. Jen, Shelly, and I will be at StitchCon. Now, who's going to have it done, ladies? Well, Shelly. Let's just be honest. She's already got the border. I haven't seen Kim or Jen to see how far they are along. They did make a point that they don't do floss tubes, which is sad. So we won't get to see their updates until they text it to us. But anywho, so that was super fun stitching. And then we had another start. Hold on. Okay, so when I got there, first of all, I got to Shelly's house. She's so sweet. She, okay, in my room, and there was this cute little like gift and box and presents on my bed. It's like even better going to it's like a 10-star hotel, right? And so we go there. It was so sweet, and I opened up so many goodies. Again, they're still waiting for me fabulously in Ohio. But one goodie I did not leave because I brought it with me. Oh, look at this. I know. I know you're jealous. I would be jealous too if I were you. But look at this. This is one of Shelly's original. Did she put one of her tags in? Silly girl. She didn't. Small Town Craft Goods. She has an Etsy shop. There's nothing in it right now. But this is a very unicorny, in my opinion. It's like a one of a kind. Of course it's one of a kind. It's from an upcycled Save the Stitches quilt. But just look at that. Beautiful. Oh, And then, you know, she always puts a button in and it's got the snap. So she made us matching project bags because this was for the project that we were going to start. We knew we were starting together. And I told you guys about this project before I left. We did actually get some stitches in. This was just a stitch it in the morning. Pretty sure this was a stitch in the morning in our pajamas before we started the day. One of the days, I forget which day it was. But this is Miss Sweet Sylvia's Note of Love, Hannah Rome, Running with Needles and Scissors. Remember, this is the one that we're starting from Sylvia's market releases. So sweet. I did a color floss conversion to Forbidden Fiber Co. That's what I did. And we got some started. You know, you gotta love it when there's just random floss everywhere. So we obviously, now that's probably what this was. This is my start. Oh, hot mess. So sweet. Now this fabric is Joy Lynn by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. So sweet. These are my Forbidden Fiber Co. conversions. Here's my project tracker card if you wanted to know the colors. Lyon's in the middle of moving shops right now, so there's a lot going on in her world. But these are the beautiful Forbidden Fiber Co's. Now, Sylvia does chart it in Vicki Clayton silks, which are gorgeous, which is what Shelly's using. She also gives the DMC conversion, so that's a great option too. And you can grab the PDF right on her website. I will link everything down below. But this is what I got stitched that morning we were stitching. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, stitching on this red, this is 36 count, pretty sure. Yeah, 36 count. This is no joke. I won't say it's like stitching on black, but these were my morning eyes too, so it should have been easier. I don't know, but it took a little bit of concentration. But this is the full. It's a tiny little thing. It's gonna be so cute. That's the full length of the top, and then I started going down. Pretty sure Shelly and I started at the same spot, pretty much. Sure. So that was just one day of stitching. Like I said, that was just one morning in our PJs, lounging around on Shelly's couch with their sweet little puppy dogs keeping us company. So that was so fun. And of course, it goes in my beautiful bag. Okay, so let me see what else I got. Okay, I have 2 more stitches to actually show you. Now, there were 3. One of them is a secret stitch. So, and that one is actually done, but I can't show that to you because it's a secret. It's gorgeous, if I do say so myself. But I can't share it with you. Super secret right over there. But in the meantime, let me show you what I can show you. So this is the April Keeper. So that's super fun. This was what Shelly and I kitted up at Keepsakes. When we went to Keepsakes, and you know, you walk around Keepsakes, it's a fabulous stitch shop. Just love it. So much eye candy on the wall, so much beautiful things. Barbara was there. I mean, she's the owner. She couldn't be more lovely. And I just loved it. Love every time. I've been there twice, 3 times. I can't remember when I was there for StitchCon if I went twice. Anywhoosie, so when we were there, we walked in and immediately were like drawn to this. Now, Ellen Chester, who is with my needle, she's a beautiful person. She was in our little group at the retreat. So sweet. She gifted us this beautiful assortment of her patterns. I don't have them to show them to you right now, but I was so appreciative of the things she gifted us in this cute little Whitman box too. It was so sweet. But while we were at Keepsakes, we saw this, and this whole presentation was just sold. That's it. It's kind of like you say that the model sells things. Well, this is the model and then some. This was the model stitched, fully finished on one of these antique spools. Adorable. And then there's a beautiful tomato. Shelly showed it in the video, I think. Or maybe she's showing it. Anyway, I don't have mine, but she'll show hers. We got matching beautiful wool tomatoes. She did show it. I remember her talking about Beth, because then we met the designer, the artist who was making them, was also at the retreat. Her name was Beth. She's a beautiful human too. Loved meeting her. And so the tomato goes right on top. It was fantastic. So we immediately knew this is what we wanted to kit up as our memory stitch for the weekend. I mean, we were going to have lots of memory stitches with retreat. We knew there was going to be a retreat piece and another piece anyway, but we wanted to kit something up. So we did. There it is. Okay. I was like, I know I stitched on it a little bit. Again, this was another, I think we started this either a morning or a night. I don't know. It was PJ stitching again at some point. But this was a beautiful chart. It's called her Quakerous Sampling 6. I think that's how Roman numerals work. I don't know. That wasn't my best work in school. But it was so, so sweet. There's a couple different options on which spools you're going to do, but I just loved it. We loved it, really. And so then we went up and we went over to the linen room. And we must have been there forever, pulling out the linens and figuring out like what was going to be our favorite one. And I don't remember what we picked. Oh, I think it's on this piece of paper. That's the great thing about Keepsakes. When they custom cut something for you and they serge it for you, they tell you what it is. This is Shakespeare's Peddler, and the color is called Sun-Kissed. So the stitch count is 95 by 120. And so that's the great thing, that when you get something kitted there, they'll do like a full, like totally custom, and you'll only get the fabric you want. They asked us, what margins you wanted, and that was fantastic. My LNS doesn't do that. They're like, do you want a quarter, an eighth? Like, stay in the lane of what you want. There's nothing custom. Anyway, so I appreciate that. Then we went up to the thread room, which is also gorgeous. They started carrying 103s. This is before I knew I needed all the 103s, which now I do. But we picked out a Gloriana, pretty sure. Let me see. Pretty sure this is a Gloriana. Yes, Gloriana Schoolhouse Red is the red we decided was perfect. So this is 36 count again. And I'm using one strand over 2. And that's as far as I got. So again, this was just one morning. And you can't even see, but it's just a little tiny bit. And then we're going to be on the hunt for the perfect size spool. The great thing about Ellen's charts, you can go on her website and get these, or you can talk to your LNS, but she gives you like all the directions, if you're using this count fabric, what size spool you need, like all the things. Perfect. So now it's just a treasure hunt to find the right spool. Challenge accepted, no problem. So I do want to get this. This needs to go onto my stitchy chart, need to work on this so that when I go back for StitchCon, when I go back, Shelly and I can finish them. That's what my plan is. Super excited. But Ellen was a beautiful, beautiful person. I'm so excited. I can now call her my friend too. Love it, love it. Okay, one more stitch. This is what I've been stitching on this week, just in my house, at my home. It's sitting over by my stitching chair. It feels like it's a blanket. That's because I haven't cut the fabric. So this is in a small bag. So let's see what it is. This is a Plum Street. Yes. Okay. Plum Street BlueSkin. So I just got a little bit of the Patriotic bug got me. I should have picked something a little bit smaller. This is a little dense stitching, but my plan is once I got into it, I was like, oh, this will be a good one. So the reason I'm focusing on this one, and I'll show you where I am right now. So I did do a color floss conversion, kind of just pull from stash type of situation with overdyes and things like that. I do have my floss toss, my project tracker card. There's a picture of it on my Instagram if you are inquiring about what my colors are. But this is what I was thinking. So once I got into it and I was like, oh, this is a big one. But the great thing about this, okay, and I'm stitching this on 32 count Jackson Fiber Arts organic hemp in the color Karuna. Beautiful blue. So sweet. It's this beautiful bluey gray. Now this is going to be not a pillow, right? Or at least not a Dobo pillow. It's going to be, so I'm thinking I'm going to frame it. I think, and it's going to sit up with my Patriotic display area. I don't remember exactly what the final size is going to be. On 7.5 by 7.5. Pretty sure. I don't think so. That looks bigger than that. But anywho, that's what it's going to be. Maybe 8 by 8, 9 by 9. I don't know. But the moral is I thought, well, this will be a perfect one So see right here, all this fill-in, saving it. All these little berry fill-ins, they're not totally ready for fill-in yet, but almost. Those I'm saving it for StitchCon because back to the whole chatting during class. If there's any hope of me actually stitching at StitchCon, it has to be fill-in because I can't focus. I won't. I'll be talking too much and then I'll end up being Team Frog, which I don't really do Team Frog. I'm Team Fudge, and that's hard to do. So I think I'm just setting myself up for success and giving myself some fill-in projects. So this will be a great fill-in for this horse and these berries. So there is some more to do. I have to put George on there for sure. I have a little bit more of the tree to do, but my plan is to get this sweetie to fill-in ready so that I can take him to StitchCon. And it didn't ring the bell at StitchCon last year. That might be fun. I do need to cut my blanket down. I'm not going to take a big old blanket. So I am going to go ahead and take this and serge it and but get this so that it's to fill-in ready. That's my plan on this one. Okay, so those are all the actual pieces where I actually stitched something that I can share with you. So staying in the world of stitching, let's talk about my shop visit. Now, I told you I went to Keepsakes. So fun. I showed you what I kitted up, the Ellen Chester beautiful friendship spool. That's not what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. The little spool that we're doing. But when I was in Portland visiting my family, I got my aunt to take me on a field trip. It was about 30 minutes away to Acorns and Threads. Never been there before. So that was so much fun. We went over there. I don't remember, one morning we popped over there and I just walked around. She walked around 2 or 3 times with me. If you've ever been to an L&S, I feel like I must circle the store 10 times. Circle it once just to take the lay of the land. Like, are we organized by designer? Are we organized by season? Every store organizes it different. And that is fascinating to me. What would I do if I had a store? I don't know. But it's always fun. So I have to get my bearings. Is it organized by season, by designer, by this, by that? Just, the initial circle is getting my bearings. It took me like 2 or 3 circles because this Acorns and Threads, fabulous. Always. All LNSs are fabulous. And they're organized always so differently. And what the inventory they have is differently. It's like a candy store, but a whole new one every time you go into one, right? And so this one was really unique in that there was the front table and there was new releases from Market. Well, I went to Market, so I saw a lot of these. So that was okay. So that wasn't that, I'd seen all that. But then there's beautiful, the thread walls. They had all the dinky dies, which I had never seen in person. I should have saw them at Market, but I didn't go in that room. Lots and lots of threads. And then you come over. Anyway, it was just fantastic. So my aunt was super sweet. Like I said, she circled around with me 2 or 3 times. She's like, okay, I'm going to go in the car and, just play on my phone a little bit. No rush. Well, so I kind of felt, she didn't mean to rush me, but I probably could have circled around 3 or 4 more times. So one of the things that I wanted to do, now, if you know, Beth Twist from Heartstring Samplery, Acorns is her home LNS. Now, I had met Beth at the Amana retreat. Beautiful, beautiful person. So, so sweet. And she had brought a lot of things to Amana, but as a designer for I don't know how many years, she has a lot of charts. So she didn't bring them all to Amana because she had to fly them or ship them. So that was, cost prohibitive. But at Acorns, I think they had a whole corner of the store, wall area that was dedicated to Beth, which was beautiful. So many things I had never seen before. Now, of course, the 2 things I did get, I had seen before, and I should have gotten things that I hadn't, but I was just overwhelmed with choices. So let me just show you some of the things I got. I got this. I was having a little bit of a miss you moment. So I got the You Hold the Key to My Heart. I thought this was going to be a sweet little, I'm probably going to make it into a, a frame, a little pillow to put up on the dresser or something like that. I don't know where it's going to go. But then I saw this. I'm a sucker for an Advent. There's a chance I bought this at Amana because I like it that much. I should go and check. If I did buy it at Amana, be prepared to see these as a future giveaway. But I love this. I love Christmas ornaments. So my favorite. These are just so sweet. So this is called the Advent Season Ornament Set. So sweet. So I picked that up. And then I had to get, right? Corner gauge. So, so sweet. Now, as always, I wanted to have a stitch, a memory, something associated with my time in Acorns in Portland. Well, that had me circling the globe forever. So, you know, at first I was like, okay, let's do something that's about the Pacific Northwest. Let's do something with family. Let's do something. I think the problem was I had too many ideas. I had too many balls up in the air trying to figure things out. And so I was overwhelmed with choices. But what I did narrow it down to is something that I've always wanted to do. I love the Carrot Towel Samplies. It's Quaker stockings. I've never done one before. It's one of those things that I've always just admired. I've always liked. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be it. Now, because I wanted my favorite thing to stitch for a memory is going to be like an ornament. I love ornaments. Christmas ornaments are my jam. I love putting them out. Little double pillows are great. I'm just not really good about putting them out. So unless there's something that like I keep out, like this one that Miss Shelley made me and this one my other friend made me, you know, so unless it's something that I'm going to keep out all the time on display in my studio, I'm not really good at displaying them. It's something I want to get better at, but let's just stay in my realm. I'm really good at Christmas ornaments. I can do that. And I love putting them on the tree, and it just like brings you that wave of nostalgia every time you put them out every year. That just feels good to me. So I wanted that associated with this trip. I hadn't been to Portland and Washington to see this family for almost 15 years. And so it was like, I want that warm feeling, right? So it needed to be a Christmas ornament. I couldn't find what I was looking for, but what I did find was this. So this was the Quaker stocking. Now it's huge. Let's be real. This is huge. It is, if you do it on 40 count, which is probably, maybe I'll do it on 46. Might be a little zealous, but I bought some. I don't have it, but I bought some. On 40 count, it's going to be 8.5 by 22 1/4. So still, it's not a functional stocking, but I'm not opposed to putting it up on a tree. Like, you know what I mean? I hang big old things like that on my Christmas tree all the time. So I am going to do the alphabet, but then in between, I'm going to customize it and put my family's initials all around it. And then of course, you know, 2024, the year. So I am going to tweak this up. I am going to put the alphabet, but then I'm also going to add my family's initials that I saw during the trip on here. And I'm not going to do it in black because I want it to be, or blue and brown. No, I want it to be a Christmas ornament. So I did pick up while I was there 2 beautiful colors of dinky dyes. So I got 2 of each just in case. I probably won't need 2 of each, especially if I'm doing it on 40 or 46 count, but I wanted to have it and not need it, then need it and not have it, right? We talked about that. The 2 colors, Wallaby Grass and Pilbara. I don't know. It was a red and a green that I thought looked really, really pretty together. So this was my little New Start family souvenir that I got some time. I just want to have it done by Christmas. Maybe Christmas in July. I don't know. I should probably get that going. But I am just going to custom design, you know, what I want to be red, what I want to be green, and go with it. Anyway, so that is my stitching haul. Now, I did get some goodies in the mail from Fat Quarter Shop, so we have some giveaways. So let's just tangent to some Fat Quarter Shop goodies and treasures to share with you. So as I said, Fat Quarter Shop so generously shipped me a package of goodies that I want to show you, and I'm going to share some of the things with you today. But I just want to show you some of the things that It's So Emma is crushing it right now with all their new designs that they put out for springtime. There's a couple things from the season, from the winter time, and then there's also autumn. So there's a little bit of everything. Winter, autumn, and spring. So let's dive into some of the things they sent me. So first, they sent me 3 of the monthly cross stitch series that are shelf life, which is adorable. Little mason jar little things, such a sweet, if you're big into switching your motifs. So they've sent me 3 of them. And so we're gonna bundle these together. This is the February hearts. Look at that sweet little mason jar. So sweet. So again, this is the shelf life series. So they're going to have 12 of them. So this is 2, 3, and 4. Look at the March bird. Oh my goodness. We have birds again this year. It's so sweet. They're going in the house. I named them last year, Bob and Edith. Now, is it the same chickadees from last year? Chances are no, but they're still Bob and Edith, and they're having little babies in my little birdhouse. So I'm hopeful that they're not pink, but that would be so sweet. So look at that March pink bird in there. And then of course, April showers bring May flowers. That's my favorite. Although we're having a lot of rain in May here, so I'm not quite sure who missed the message. But how fun are these? So if you are wanting to get these shelf life patterns, we're going to do one giveaway. So remember, to enter into my giveaways, you need to be a subscriber of the channel, like the video, and use the word in your comment. Easy enough, right? So let's use the word shelf, because that's easy enough. This is the Shelf Life series. So we're going to use the word shelf, and you're going to win all 3 patterns of that. So that's exciting. This was a sweet one that I thought was so cute. I would love to stitch this. This is the Stitch Quarterly, and it was the wintertime cross stitch. Now, a lot of these things, if they were Stitch Quarterlies, you can get them after the fact. So if you miss them during the quarterly boxes, you can go back and order it. Or grab it otherwise. So I'm gonna have all these things linked down below. If any of these speak to you and you don't wanna wait for the giveaway and you wanna just grab them to your cart, go ahead and do it. But look how cute, first of all, love this little tree, but I kind of think this little polar bear by himself, put him on some, I probably would do blue because it makes me think of like glacier, like an ornament with just this little polar bear, or even the fox and the penguin, just those 2 guys together on an ornament. I might be a little ornament crazy right now, but this would be a sweet stitch as is. It's 84 by 84. So just those 2 little guys would be so cute and tiny. Wow, stitch up so quick. Okay, so if you wanted to win this one, use the word bear, because he's my favorite part of that one. All right, this is a sweet one, Lacy Daisy. Oh, that is so sweet. It reminds me of daisy flowers, which is, sure. And on this beautiful pink fabric. The great thing is they did look at all these different color options. So maybe if blue's not your jam, but more of these warm autumnal tans. Ooh, there's a purple shade. And so they give you, 3 different DMCs. So it's only 3 flosses. And then you get to like pick and choose based on your fabric. So this is a great pattern if you wanted to, kind of dive into your funky, colorful fabrics. If you have a little, and you're like, I don't know what to do on this. This will be a perfect one. As long as white's going to pop on it, I think that the daisies have to be white, right? So you want it to have a little bit of tone to it, but have fun with that. So use the word daisy in your comment if you want to win that one. Springtime ornaments. These are so sweet. Oh my gosh, look at these little peeps. I'm a good peep. I'm a sucker for a peep. Then we've got eggs and baskets and chickadees and the umbrella and bonnets and cupcakes and bunnies. Oh my, yay. So this was a sweet stitch. They're all 28 by 28, so they would stitch up so fast. And there's a whole slew of either Classic Colorworks or DMC, but so sweet. Now they stitch them on the 25 count Lugana, because then they put them in the tins that they sell, which is super adorable. So great to finish. You use the little rounds that you can get from Back Quarter Shop and you're done. I love it when everything comes together and it's easy to just finish it up real quick. So if you were interested in wanting to win this chart, use the word springtime. So that's exciting. I got a couple other things to show you. This is the Bee in the Bonnet stitch cards. This is set T. These are so sweet. I'm going to start collecting these Bee in the Bonnet cards, set T. I love that they're all 34 by 34. Nice little stitches. They've got, obviously they're on set T, so they have A through S. So many different choices, and they all come in the same. You can finish them the same. They can be little ornaments, little pin pillows, all the things. And then the 2 last things they sent are for fall that have just come out, and I'm pretty sure that Back Quarter Shop is doing a stitch along for both the quilt and the cross stitch. How fun is that? This is the new Lori Holt autumnal series. It's called The Quilted Scarecrow. And again, it's the quilt pattern book, which is fantastic. It is made from the autumn collection by Lori Holt for Riley Blake Fabrics. So sweet. So this quilt measures 80.5 by 85.5, and it gives you all the directions and everything you need. Nice, big, thick book. So, so sweet. And then there's the cross stitch. Oh my gosh. So this is a 165 by 175. So this is a big girl or big guy. This is a big scarecrow, friends. So he is so, so sweet. I love them both. But what I am going to do is I am going to dig into this. I think this little pumpkin right here, I want to see it. I'm hoping that I'm sure it's done by blocks. Like she's going to have a leaf block, which I think is fantastic. I'm a big fan of taking these. Now this is an adorable quilt, but I probably wouldn't make this as a quilt. But what I see when I look at this is I see, how cute would a project bag be with this black bird? Super cute. How cute would it be with these autumnal leaves? And first of all, how cute. Now I do have a pumpkin bag that I did my own with a little scrappy 2.5, but I want to see this one. I'm a sucker for orange. I know you're shocked, right? But I think I want to make this autumn block. So I love seeing a quilt like this. And even if I'm not drawn to making the quilt as is, I see some blocks in here that I would love. Like, oh my goodness. I think I want to make an autumnal table runner just using these leaves. Like how fun that just imagine. Okay, ready? Hold on. What can I do? If this with the acorns and the leaves and maybe a little patchwork all around it, that would be such a sweet table runner. So I look at a quilt sometimes that is like this and I say, okay, that may not be my quilt style, but though that I love a good table runner. They stitch up or they sew up really, really quick. And I love that. That's the one thing I am good at changing in my decor is just popping a new seasonal table runner. I do have one autumnal one, but you know, you can always have two. And these different shapes leaves, there's like 4 different, like there's a leaf and there's a leaf. So many, look, there's like 5 different leaves right there. That's a little mini table runner. And of course, I love this quilt star by here. Maybe throw the pumpkin in the middle of the table runner and the bird. I don't know, but I see an autumnal table runner right there. So that is so fun. Thank you so much, Fat Quarter Shop, for sending those goodies to me to share with you guys. So again, if you wanted to enter into some of those giveaways, make sure you use the comments down below. So now let's switch gears and talk about some knitting, shall we? Okay, so I've got some knitting progress on what I've done. I also visited a local yarn shop when I was in Portland. So I've got some haul from there. So let's just dive in. Now, if you followed me on Instagram, even though I kind of went radio silent for about 2 weeks because I was just present in the moment. First I started off sharing a carousel of 10 photos from the first 2 days of travels with the big grandiose plans of sharing photos every day. But then I didn't take photos every day and then it kind of just, anyway, so I shared some things. In the beginning, I shared first 2 days, I think. And so what I did is I did show you guys what I was knitting on the plane. So when I was traveling on planes, in the airport, when I'm waiting at the gate and such, because I'm one of those get to the gate a little early, maybe a little earlier than the average bear, but I would do my stitching, my secret stitching. It's over there. But anyway, I would work on my stitching in the airport, by the gate, because I felt like I could do that. But once you get on the plane and you're kind of like sardines, you know, in a can, I didn't feel like my stitching was my good. I'm in the back of the bus. And so I just felt like knitting was a better airplane project for me. And so I did kit up and cake up a new pair of socks. And you guys helped me decide on Instagram what my accent color should be. So this is the beautiful yarn that I caked up. It is Ruby and Roses. I showed it to you last time. It was part of my haul. And I told you that for sure this was going to be my new cake. And it was. And so I started this sock at the airport when I started my trip. And so this was the accent color that you guys chose. There were 3 and this was the one that won. So I was super excited. I did a little poll on Instagram. I love that. And so fun. And you guys chose the right one because it looks great. So I did end up finishing a sock. So this is just a vanilla sock. This is nothing fancy. This is, you know, my 3rd or 4th sock. I don't know. We're not counting yet. I have 1 pair. I have one, no, I have 2 pairs completed. So I'm still, you know, working on learning and honing my skills, practicing. I can almost remember what I'm doing. But anyway, this was just a vanilla sock. I did a 2x2 cuff for 10 rows, and then I did 40 rows. So I am just trying out different things to find my magic recipe. I think my other one was a little shorter. So this was a 40 row leg. I haven't decided what my perfect leg is, but this is, of course, my perfect Shelly heel, which is fantastically easy and my favorite thing to do. And then there's the foot and then the toe. I love to do heel, toe, and cuff in an accent color when I'm just doing a vanilla sock. So this was the sock that I finished. So that's fun. And then this was airplane. And then I did, you know, go ahead and get the second one casted on. So, you know, that's some progress. Hopefully, this is one of my things that I just love to keep in my One Skein Wonder bag. Let me just pop it right back in there. Remember, this is the drawstring bag that is made up of my fabric scraps from the Herringbone mini project bag. That is definitely on my to-do list to get that pattern written up. I'm going to say in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to get the drawing. I'm going to get the pattern written up for this drawstring bag. So you can make it with your scraps or you can make it with other scraps you have. But the crumb part of this bag is my favorite. It's a One Skein Wonder bag. Love it. So that one's coming soon, but that was my progress on that. And then my other big progress. Now this is more progress at home. We're sitting on a couch. I did take it with me. I didn't work on it. It just traveled around the globe with me. It took a little more brain power where I was, but this is in my sweater basket bag. I don't know what we're still working on that one, but I showed you guys that bag last week and you guys were super excited about it. I am going to work on the pattern for that. TBD on when that's coming. Not making any promises. We're going to talk about this. Maybe not today, but this is the Lumos lights. Yes, I did fall down the rabbit hole. Instagram made me do it. I haven't decided yet. I was hopeful. We'll see. It worked for the airplane. It was great for an airplane, which is what I wanted it for because I didn't want to be like, you know, pushing the thing with the person next to me, you know, even though there's a light. Anyway, so this was great. Give you just enough light for knitting. It's not going to give you enough light, maybe for 14 count comfort stitching where you really don't need to see the holes. I don't know. Anyway, what this is that's in my bag right now, this is the Petite knit Lyon sweater. So if you remember, this is the sweater I am working on right now. Yes, it is May. It is hotter than Hades outside. So why am I knitting a sweater? Because it's probably going to take me 6 months to make it. Let's be honest. Let's be real, people. So maybe by the time I finish it, I'll be able to block it and actually wear it in November or December of this year because I do 7,000 different things. It takes me a while to do them all because I'm not just doing one monogamous stitch. Anywho, I have progress and it's fun and I want to show it to you. Now remember, let's review. I am doing a beautiful, first of all, if I was ever a color, it would be this. This would be my color. This is the aura I want to share. Anyway, hot pink. I wanted a navy blue sweater with hot pink stripes because my favorite, right? So the good news is, hot mess yarn. I just throw it in the bag. Not the best choice, but that's okay. That's a problem for future me when I need to untangle it. But the moral of the story is I closed up the sweater and I'm now in the round. Okay, you ready? No. Yes, I could. It's 32-inch circular, so you're not getting the full effect. But the moral of the story is that I've got a neck hole. That's exciting. And I've got my first hot pink stripe. So yes, I have to go. I don't know how many more stripes. I got to go down to the stripes and then separate for the sleeves and all the things. But I love this pink is some bright pink. It pops against this navy blue. And so I love, you know, this was hand-dyed yarn, right? Mrs. Babs, so great. And so even though it's tonal, it does have a little bit of movement. You see, it's kind of like a variegated tonal floss. I love it. I love it, love it, love it so much. And then the pink too also just has a little bit of movement because it's hand-dyed versus commercial dyed. Both are great. But I'm super happy with my choice on that. So that is the progress on my Lyon sweater. Oh, hold on. I got to put everything back in the bag or see if it's going to be more of a hot mess express when I go back to try to knit it again. Okay, then let's talk about the haul. So again, while I'm in Portland, Shelly and I had big grandiose plans to go to a knitting store or a yarn shop and a needlepoint shop when I was in Ohio. But we had grandiose plans to do all kinds of things. We were going to film a floss tube or a stitch with me on Friday. Didn't happen. We did sit down at her spinning wheel. So I think we have a video, or at least a picture, I'll pop it in, of my first spinning wheel adventure. Now, I do have a spinning wheel. It's still sitting right there looking pretty. What I have learned from spinning is I am going to need to just dedicate some time, maybe pick a month. I don't know what month. Pick a time where I'm just going to sit there. It's kind of like going like, I can't even do it, right? That whole chewing gum, popping your head, that, right? I know I can do it. It's just something where I need to become muscle memory before I can do it. And so, you know, she hops right on the wheel and she's like, you know, treadling. It's a double treadle. So she's moving her feet like this. Okay, I can do that. But I can't do this and this at the same time, right? So you're treadling with your feet and then you're feeding the fiber into the eye hook. I don't know. There's terminologies associated with wheels and I haven't learned it. Like putting it together was step one. I should get mine down and see if I could put it together and see if my little even, you know, twiny thing works so I can just practice treadling. I told her that's what I was going to do between now and StitchCon. I was just going to pull my wheel down and just sit there and treadle. So that way I don't have to hopefully think about it. At the end of some period of time, I can just treadle without thinking when it becomes muscle memory. And then once my feet can do something without having to think about my feet doing those things, then I can go on to step two, right? I didn't get some yarn. I did spin a little bit. It was all kinds of wonky do. I broke the thread probably, or I broke the fiber, but I was a hot mess. But I liked it so much that when I was at my local yarn shop in Portland, it was called Hook and Needle. It was in downtown Vancouver, Washington, which is actually where my aunt lives, right across the river from Portland, Oregon. Vancouver, Washington is this beautiful, like up and coming, it's coming back downtown area. Very, very sweet. There's this beautiful shop called Hook and Needle. I met the two co-owners. They were adorable. Love their sweet little shop. It's only been there for a year. So I will link them down below. Go give them some love. Tell them that I sent you this for funsies. But while I was there, I picked up a couple of skeins of yarn. Skeins. Got some, like, I'm saying it wrong, messages. Sorry. But while I was there, look at that. So this is, so I bought fiber while I was in Oregon. It was from the White Oak alpacas. There's like alpaca farms. Like you throw a rock and you hit 10 of them when you're sitting at my aunt's house. You just Google it. So that's like their jam out there. And so I was like, well, then I need to get some alpaca. And this was so sweet. So it's got the two different alpacas. Their names are Petite and Moonraker. How adorable is that? And so this yarn, I am so excited. I can hardly stand it. I got 4 ounces of 100% alpaca, and I'm going to, Shelly, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do the one in white from Moonraker, Petite, and then I'm going to do another one in the Moonraker, black, and then we're going to apply them to twist them together. Don't know how to do any of that, but I think this yarn is this black and white striped yarn plied, it's not striped, it's going to be, you know, twisted together, kind of like the cording. Cording. Ooh, flamingo retreat is coming up. Anyway, cording. So it's kind of like that, but it's just black and white twisted together. I mean, I'm so excited for this. I can hardly stand it. So I do need to practice my treadling so that maybe I can do it. I don't know how long this would take. How long would this take someone who actually knows what they're doing? Is this like a one sit down at the wheel? Is this like a 2-week project? I can't even begin to wrap my head around, you know, how long would this take someone? I don't know. Are you a spinner? Let me know. And 4 ounces to turn, because that's going to make 100 grams of yarn, right? I don't know. I'm kind of just making this up. last but not least, while I was there, I did get two, I always go into a local yarn shop and I say, hi, my name is Kari. I am traveling in town. I'm a knitter, new knitter, but I always love to get a local dyed yarn on my travels. That's my favorite thing to do, is to get something that is made locally. If I can buy it online, I'd buy it online. But I want something local. So these gals were so sweet. It took me right to the, thankfully, shops know this. They took me right to the local shop section. Again, I still griddled around 3 or 4 times to try to figure out. I got my alpaca fiber. I knew I was going to do that. And then I zigged. And so this is a beautiful local dyer to there. Rosie the Riveter. Oh, it's called Homefront. She says these knit up. So I did get 2 fingering weights for socks because I'm a sock knitter now. So I thought this would be so fun for a little 4th of July socks. I mean, you don't really need to wear socks in July because it's hotter than Hades, but that's okay. I can be patriotic in December when I want to wear wool socks. So this is sweet, and the company is called Knitted Wit. So fun. And then the other one, I was only going to get one, but when I saw this one, I was like, well, of course I have to get this one because it just speaks to me. So this is called Waifu Yarns. Waifu, hand dyed in the Pacific Northwest. Yes, please. And this color is called Fairy Angel. Are you kidding me? So again, this is fingering 8515. But look, you know I had to get it. Look at the oranges and the purples and the pinks and the plums. So sweet. Again, this is going to be a sock. Maybe I'll venture out of vanilla socks. I don't know. We'll see. But I wanted to do that. And then while I was over there in the local section, she had this cute little spinning rack. I love goodies. She had a cute little, oh, there's no tag. There was a cute little spinning rack full of handmade stitch markers by a local artisan there. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me who it was, but I sat there and I spun around and I picked up this one. I just love having fun little stitch markers to mark my progress, or so I got the one that was sheep themed and I thought it was so sweet. So all different sheep, and then there's a couple hearts and balls and things. But this was from the cute little shop. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what the artist was because there's no label, but that's super sweet. Now I did get one pretty so sweet gift in the mail. Staying in the knitting. So when I went to my P.O. box, when I got back from my travels, there was a package in there. Totally didn't know it was coming, but my sweet friend Jan sent me a book. She said she was cleaning out her craft room, which I need to do. And she found that she actually had 2 copies of this book, and she thought of me first and sent it to me. So that is so sweet. Look at this. It's called Favorite Socks, 25 Timeless Designs. And it was so sweet. Okay, first of all, this is my favorite part. She wrote it to me. I love that. I love it so much. So that way, when I pull this book out in like 20 years, I'll now remember who gave it to me. So there is some not complicated, but this is more than a vanilla sock recipe, but I'm super excited about it. I think I'm going to find one in here. I can't show it to you. I haven't really, ooh, retro ribbed. Those are fun. So fun. So this is I'm not quite sure when the book was made. Interweave Press. Yep, don't see a year popping out at me real quick like, ooh, cable rib socks. Oh my goodness. So I think maybe I will dive into this and see if I can find, a baby step. Not necessarily like, let's go crazy town, but baby step into some fun socks once I at least finish 1 or 2 more of my vanilla socks and I feel like I've got it ready. I'm definitely in the acquiring and the yarn stage. I'm crushing that hobby. So we shall see. So that was my knitting portion of the program. Now we're going to dive into, I just brought over my Stack O Family Treasures. So what is that? Let's dive into what in the world is Family Treasures. So let me give you a little bit of the backstory. So again, I went, after I left the Queen City Sampler Guild, I flew on to Portland to visit my family. So my dad actually flew out. He lives here in Virginia too, but he flew out. His brother and his sister both live out in Vancouver, Washington, which is right across the river from Portland. I hadn't been there for 15 years. I hadn't seen my aunt since then. My uncle has come out a couple of times. It's his twin brother. So anyway, so I wanted to spend some family time with them. Now, my that's the Chamberlain family is how I'm gonna call it. That's my dad's whole, and so my aunt being, she's the keeper of the things. I feel like in families, for some reason, well, it just, there's people that are either attached to family heirlooms and there's people that aren't attached to family heirlooms. I am one of the people that is attached to it, right? And so is my aunt. So my aunt, up until now, has been the keeper of the family treasures, whether it's from Grandma Fern, who is my great-great-grandmother. We've talked about her before. She was the quilter. There's no quilting behind me. She's a quilter and a knitter and a maker. And so I will show you some of the things. And then her mother, Maxine, was a watercolorist. And so, the July box last year actually showed one of Fern's quilts and one of the note cards and one of Maxine's watercolors and one of the note cards. Anyway, so I'm the keeper of all the things. And coming from my family of makers, whether it's painters or fiber artists or all the things, there's some things, thankfully, that have been treasured and passed down. Well, so through the years, my aunt has shipped a couple things to me. Unfortunately, some things have been lost, some things have broken, like my grandma Fern's teacups back in the 100, collecting teacups, pretty teacups was a thing. And so she had a beautiful teacup collection. Unfortunately, that didn't make it across the country, and it was kind of sad. I mean, it made it here, but in 1,000 pieces. So anyway, the moral of the story is my aunt has not been sharing a lot of things. Because she was scared that, these were priceless heirlooms and you didn't want the shipping gremlins, which we all know is a thing, to take hostage. And so there was no reason to give it to him to ship it now. It was fine. She's holding them and keeping them and things. But since I was there, we went through, she's got photo album. I mean, it was just a fabulous visit. Let's just stay there for a minute. It was so much fun. We, catching up with my aunt and visiting with her. I used to go out there every summer when I was little, from like 5 to 15 or 17, something like that. I would go out there every summer for like 8 to 10 weeks, and do all the things. Anyway, so because I was flying home and I could hold in my possession these family treasures, that's exactly what I did. So I did have an empty suitcase. Well, we got one for my uncle because I got a little more than I thought I was gonna get. But let me show you some of the things I did get, because it's fun. It's all fiber arts, at least if you're a collector of family things. And anyway, okay, so adorable. Why she has this, I don't know, but I think it's adorable. This, and then it says, Toque, yep, Ada, masking tape, classic, 1980s, to Kimberly from Kari Nicole. That's my old middle name. Kari Nicole, summer 89. So this, I felt like I've already started stitching a little before. Look at those French knots are goodness bad. So I'm 13 during this bunny stitch. I gave this to my cousin Kimberly, and that's one of my first stitches. Now there are earlier ones I did stitch before 13, but not that I don't remember. But so she gave me this, so sweet. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it's adorable. She gave me this. So Kim liked bunnies, and so I must have stitched 2 different bunny things for Kim. So that's fun. Ada, I mean, you just, like, you're doing it all wrong. There's no crossing legs over in the same direction. Nope. All kinds of goodness. And look at all that backstitch. Fantastic. And then there's this one. Again, masking tape. Saves it all. Just look at the acid glue on that. Doesn't it? But, and look like this has lived through some coffee stains or something, but it's a sweet little butterfly. I don't know. That was the only one that was dated. So that came over. And so we're going through the hope chest, which is super fun. And so, like I said, my grandmother, Maxine, so my dad's mom, she was a watercolorist. And so everybody in the family has lots of the bigger watercolors, but these little tiny ones that she shared with me, you can tell without it's been framed, it's got a sweet. So, just so sweet. So I'm going to have to get these. And then this one, She loved the daisies. Oh, and then the African violets. So sweet. So, and then we get into the nitty gritty of it. Now this, she said when she was cleaning out Aunt Bev's. So Aunt Bev is my grandmother's sister. She's 98 right now. She's still living, 98. We didn't get to visit with her, but she told me that Bev stitched this when she lived in Alaska. I said, I'm sorry, what? Look at those tiny, tiny stitches. I mean, how do you stitch words that tiny? So this is not cross stitch, but goodness gracious, it's just so, so delicate. I love it. So they lived in Alaska for a while and she stitched this. So up here above I look over here like you can see. Over here, there's a little shadow box that has a lot of special family measures. Like there's tatting tools from 150 years ago. That was, now that I know who they are, there was, we're going to call her Grumpy Susan. I'll tell you her story in a minute. But Grumpy Susan's tatting needles and things like that. So anyway, I have lots of things up there. But then look at these. These are going to go in that box too. These little mittens, okay, first of all, how tiny and adorable are these? So, so sweet. So these were knit. They're super itchy and scratchy. And I don't even know, I mean, oh, itchy, itchy. But these were knit. So thankfully, my grandmother at some point decided to put tags on things because who was going to remember? And so there was tags on a lot of these things, or at least a tag on a bag full of stuff saying, you know, who did what. So this was tagged in a bag, and this was done by my grandmother's mother. So my great grandmother, who I never met, Nellie, was a knitter, and so she knit these sweet little mittens and scarf. So these are definitely going to go in that cherished little box, and then one day maybe I'll be able to take a little sweet picture with, you know, a granddaughter or something. How sweet is that? So sweet. You know, those are some tiny stitches, and those are some tiny, tiny mittens. Okay. Okay, I had to do it. I love Christmas. This was, you know, macrame. Ugh, look at that fuzzy thing. It is just something. So this is like a Christmas tree. It reminds me of like 70s kitschy. But yes, I will definitely put that out at Christmas time. This was a sweater that Fern made, Grandma Fern. So my great grandmother, so anyway, she made this sweater for Susan, my aunt. But it's made from wool, and Susan's allergic to wool. So she's like, so I need to wash it. It's got a stain on it. But she's like, you know, do you want to wear it? Or do you want to have it at least? And I said, well, yeah, and I'm going to wear it. I mean, look, handmade by love. So sweet. So I wish there was more of a story. I just know that she said Fern made it. That's the only thing that she knows. You could tell it was knit. It's big. It'll be fun. It'll be cozy, but I am going to give it a good soak. This was a fun treasure so when my dad was growing up, my grandfather was a colonel in the military, or general, I don't know, he was something, and so they went all over the world, and so they were in Japan for like 4 or 5 years. So there's a lot of Japanese stuff that I still don't have, but this was something that she was ready to let go of, this beautiful Japanese robe. She goes, well, because it doesn't fit me. And I said, well, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to wear it. It's not like a robe to, you know, get out of the shower robe, but it's just pretty. So, you know, whether that goes into a shadow box or where that goes, but this was, you know, something that she had picked up in Japan, I don't know, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, sometime. Yeah. I saved the best for last. Hold on. Let me shut my marker. I don't want anything to happen. So these are 2 quilts. That I was able to, so I had a roller suitcase. Originally, my carry-on suitcase had, you know, carry-on stuff in it, clothes and such. Well, now my carry-on suitcase, all that other stuff went into a check bag because, you know, check bags can still get lost too. But a roller bag, carry-on, does not get lost because it's with me the whole time. So my roller bag became my quilt and accoutrement back. So it had one quilt on either side and then all these goodies. So there were 2 quilts. Now, as I've said, Fern, who is my father's grandmother. So my great grandmother is Fern, born in, I don't remember when, 1900-ish, 1902, something like that. So she was a quilter and a knitter. She did that macrame. She did all the things. She did all the, she was a maker of all kinds. Well, her mother, who I affectionately called Grumpy Susan earlier, was Susan. She was born in 1867, and we found a picture in the albums and things. And the reason I'm calling her Grumpy is because there's a family picture. My aunt had never met her. It was my anyway, 1867. Grumpy Susan. She's sitting there. It's a family portrait in the middle of, like, Noah said, what is this? Like, vintage picture. It's a couple. And then there's 10 grown kids in the background. Now, she had 13 kids. 3 of them died during, childhood, but 10 of them went on to adulthood. And so she was sitting there in the chair with 10 adults. Okay, so she was grumpy because she had 13 kids. Like, that's a lot in the middle. And I'm telling you that the house that they lived in was, like, probably as big as this room. 13 kids. Susan was grumpy for a reason. So she did not smile not in one photo that we found of Grumpy Susan was she happy. But she made beautiful quilts. So I have 2 of family quilts. So this was the first one that was gifted to me while I was there. This is a beautiful Hexi quilt. Now, like I said, Grumpy Susan was born in 1837. Started having kids, at age 17. I don't know. That's what they did. And so I'm not quite sure. There's no date, or we don't know exactly when. Shelly can probably look at the fabrics and tell me, what era these fabrics are. I'm not that good yet. But I know that it was all hand done. Hexis are, this is all hand quilted, all hand sewn together, and then all hand quilted around each Hexi. So it's around each Hexi in the middle. It's this beautiful large quilt. It's all scrappy Hexi flowers. I love it so much. And then the back is beautiful solid pink, but you can see the hand stitching. And the hand, just these tiny, those are all hand stitches. Do you know how long this took? Like 10 years. I don't know. But it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. And I'm just so honored that it's now part of my collection. And so I am now the keeper of the family treasures. My brother's not really I won't say he's a minimalist, but he's kind of minimalist adjacent. So he is not the keeper of the things. And then I have one more quilt, and this was a quilt that was at my uncle's house, and his wife said, well, I think it's time for you to have it. And so this is a beautiful, I can't open it up, it won't fit, but it's a beautiful Lonestar quilt. And what we've decided, we talked to the other sister in the family, and the older sister, she remembers that Fern actually made this. Fern did the quilting or the stitching. So she actually, quilted the diamonds. This is the Lonestar diamond. Is that what it's called? Shelly. These are like the ones that she tried to teach me in Amana. She did. She taught me. It's not like she tried. She did. So now I'm even more so excited about doing this because I think I want to make my own version of this. So it's so pretty. But anyway, this is more, I'm going to say 50s, 60s, 30s. I don't know. But it's all hand done. Fern did it, and this is the one where Grumpy Susan for the first time was teaching Fern how to do the quilting. So the top stitching, quilting was done. Look at that. So we did a star just in the negative space. So fancy. So This was something where Fern and Grumpy Susan worked together on that one. So that is super fun. So I do have a little bit more haul from shopping across the trip. I just want to get it all done so I can put it all away, but I don't want to not show it to you because it's fun. Okay, so as I mentioned, I went antiquing with Shelly in Ohio. There's quite a haul from that, but I don't have that. But I also went antiquing / shopping while I was in Portland and Vancouver with my aunt. It's not really her jam, but she knows it's mine. So we had fun walking around. Okay, first of all, super jealous. Here in where I live in Virginia, Northern Virginia, there is not an antique mall. Shelly has a giant one, like the size of my Costco, that's right down the street from her house. Are you kidding me? It was fantastic. We had so much fun. And then my aunt, now it's not the size of Costco, but we probably went to 5 different ones that you put them all together, size of Costco. So jealous. I don't have anything like that. I'd have to go. I don't even know where I could go. I could go to Staunton, Virginia. Patrick and I did that in the fall, but that's like 3 hours away. Anywho, I have my haul from Washington because I brought it home on the airplane. And I'll show you the Ohio haul when I come back from StitchCon. But let's dig into my antiquing Washington haul. Now, everything's Stitchy related except for this. This is something that I walked in and it was on a display somewhere and I was like, oh, that is just the cute. So I see it. I'm always looking for, let's see, unique storage in my studio. Yes, I do have IKEA bookcases. Yes, because that's functional and that's, you know, I need a lot of storage. But I also like pretty storage. And so when I saw this, now it's probably not old. I don't know what it is, but it says Grandma's Bread. It was so sweet. It was all nice and finished. The price was great. And yes, it did fit in my suitcase. So bonus. And I was like, this is going to be hanging on my wall in my studio. And I'm going to either put jelly rolls in it, maybe, or just something fun. So it's just going to be pretty wall storage. I like to fill up all my walls in my studio. And so I wanted to grab that while I was there. So that's the only thing that's not really Stitchy related, but it's going to go in my studio. So, you know, adjacent. While the other thing I picked up, I always pick up vintage stitching. Love that floral basket. So yes, I do. I probably do have more vintage stitching than I might ever be able to make into things, but that's okay. I like to collect things. And while I was collecting, I wanted to, you know, I showed you that beautiful quilted bag that Shelly made me. Well, so I was inspired to, when I saw this, when I was quilting or antiquing, to also make myself a quilt project bag with this upcycle quilt that's all green. It reminds me of the Pacific Northwest because there's just evergreen trees everywhere. And so it's like memory souvenir adjacent, and I was excited about it, but it's this beautiful antique quilt. It's a cutter quilt. There's probably a quarter of it that is not usable. And so I have deemed it a cutter quilt, but I thought that the green and white was super pretty. It's going to be a beautiful souvenir bag. I haven't decided if I'm going to make something like, because of the green and white, it also could lend itself to be Christmassy. So I could make maybe a tree skirt. I don't have one, so that might be a tree skirt out of this, and or something else to adorn my Christmas or project bags. I don't know, but I got this cutter quilt. It was a great price. Couldn't pass it up. So the last thing was they have this store. So they also have Hobby Lobbies and a Joann's, both of which I have, no problem. So I didn't need to go there. But she had something called the Craft Warehouse. Now, I'd never heard of that. She's like, what do you mean you've never heard of it? And I was like, we don't have that. So the Craft Warehouse is kind of like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, and a quilt shop and a local knit shop kind of all merged together into this giant Joann Hobby Lobby size store. Huge. So yes, there's the whole decor section. I walked through it. I didn't feel the need to pick any of that up because while there was things I had never seen before, I was also kind of getting worried that my suitcases were full. But I did go over to the quilt and yarn store section of it because it was calling to me. So I did pick up a few things that I had never seen before. This, so fun. Now, I told you before, I love table runners, right? So table runners are like, because making a quilt is an investment in time, which I love. I need to get back to what I want to make, and I want to be intentional and make more quilts as both gifts as well as for myself. But in the meantime, if I get a little quilty bug shooting, I can finish the table runner real quick and get that. It's kind of like a baby stitch finish. It's kind of like a small versus a big girl, and you get, not exactly, but go with me, right? And so a table runner gives me that quilty happiness, but not with the full commitment of a quilt, like a queen size, put it on your bed quilt. So I saw this book and it's called Table-tastic. There were 3 of them. I did restrain and only get the one because I could probably go online. I don't even know if they have an online store, but I just saw that and I was like, oh, these are so fantastic. I just love, 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 love. So a good table runner book, couldn't pass it up. They had a whole, now I've never been to the Buttermilk Mason. It is on my bucket list one day to actually go to that store. The cottage, you know, whatever. Oh, so sweet. They had a whole wall of patterns of quilts and runner patterns, and that's something I'd never seen before. Now, all these things are available. Like, this is available as PDF online, but sometimes just seeing it in person, it makes the difference. I'm a sucker for a jelly roll. So, I love, and now everybody's shocked. Look, I picked the one that has the hot pink. This is a Ruby Star jelly roll in the color Backyard by Sarah Watts. I got it because it was hot pink, and my quilty store here local doesn't carry Ruby Star, and I kind of like fabric shopping in person. So when I saw that, I loved it. And then this was a beautiful, I couldn't pass it up, Moda. It's just going to be a red tonal. I'm kind of feeling drawn right now to making a red and white quilt. The Peaceful, I'm going to tangent for a second. Peaceful Baskets Quilt, which is a fat quarter shop quilt along. It is a pattern in their Sew Sampler box. I don't get their Sew Sampler box. I am going to remedy that here soon. But in the meantime, you can buy the pattern separately. Shelly showed it in her enabler, that it's just a one block pattern every month. I think for 12 months, stitch along, you make 1 block a month. Totally doable, right? That's how you can make a quilt. It's going to take a whole year, but that's okay. Peaceful Quilts. Beautiful Shoreline, Camille Ross Kelly, beautiful line. Before I left, I had the fabric bundle in my cart. I was like, oh, I have too many things to do. I left, I've come back. It is now gone. A little sad about it, but that's okay. I have zigged and zagged, and the Peaceful, I can get the patterns, both as PDF and or hard copies, whichever one I do, and I can make the quilt along, but I just have to do my own fabric. And so what I've decided is I have gone over to, I have quite a collection of fat quarters right over there. That's how I audition colors for Project Keepers. For the Keeper Club is I sometimes will get quite an assortment of fat quarter bundles to see all the fabrics in person, because like I said, I like to shop fat quarters or shop fabrics in person, because colors on the computers just don't tell the truth, and the scale, it's hard. Anyway, fat quarter bundles, there's quite a selection over there that didn't become Keeper Clubs or haven't become. So anyway, there's 2 or 3 that are red and white, and so instead of doing my Peaceful Baskets quilt, I forget which way it is, that one, I'll have it linked below. I'm going to do mine in a red, white, and or red, white, and pink. I haven't decided. There's 2 different bundles over there. I'm going to see which one, because Fat Quarter Shop does give you a couple alternatives now for fabrics because they've sold out of the kit. They've given you some of their own colors. Anyway, that's coming. I don't know why I tangent. Oh, because the jelly roll. Yes. So also while I was there, I went into the yarn section. Now I have never, my local yarn shop doesn't really carry a lot of commercial this is Cascade yarns. I've never touched Cascade yarns, so I was super excited when they had about a half wall of Cascades, and so I wanted to get some so that I could have it in hand. I'm always looking for, this was, it's just reasonable tonal. Now it's not hand dyed, but it's nice dyed yarn. Cascade Yarns Heritage, 75.25. I got in a blue and white. I thought that'd be such a cute little striped sock. So fun. And then I couldn't pass this one up. This was their Heritage Wave. It reminds me kind of Spin Cycle E, but like for a quarter of the price. I don't know, but it was very, very reasonable. And I love a good spin cycle twisted yarn. So this is a family. This is fingering weight. I thought this would be a cute little, maybe it's a manly sock. Maybe that's what I was thinking. But it reminded me, I got blues and greens. It reminded me of my trip. So anyway, do you see a segment? See a theme here? So that was my craft warehouse haul. Okay, friends, so we're almost to the end of the table. So that's exciting. I've gone through my list and I've checked it twice. So let me just tell you a little bit of a story. And then you're going to be all caught up. And then hopefully I'll be back next Friday and we're going to be on regularly scheduled programming every Friday, coming back for Flosstube Friday, giving you an update of what I've been doing. And that's what I've got. Okay, so did my trip, flew around, quality time with family, so fun. We had a poker night. We went out to dinner. We went to a casino. I lost some money. I'm not a big casino person. My uncle said I wasn't allowed to take the money and spend it on yarn. So he made me do it. Whatever. It was fun. And lots of yummy food, lots of family time. I had a Marionberry. Have you ever had Marionberries? First of all, so we go to the pie shop. We get pies, at a pie shop one day. And I love a good blackberry pie. And it looked like blackberry pie, but they called it a Marionberry. And I was like, what in the world is a Marionberry? We do not have those in Virginia. And it's like a hybrid blackberry that's only available over there. Anyway, it was really, really good. So had some pie, had cherry pie, lots of pie. Love pie. So then I flew home on Mother's Day, Monday, Mother's Day, and surprise to me, my babies, Noah and Lily, had driven up from Clemson earlier in the week and were staying at my mother's house and surprised me and picked me up at the airport. And so they were here for another 5 days, spending time with me, spending time with their friends, spending time with their grandparents, doing a little pre-summer up here. They're not going to be here for the summer. They're both down in college at Clemson. And so they are working down there. Lily is doing a creative inquiry research. She got this really super excited for her. She got this super competitive research with Clemson's research program. There was only like 10 people in her major that were offered this research opportunity for the summer. So she's in the lab every day doing science. She's a genetics major and it's a biological science, genetics lab science. Yeah, so fun for her. It's her favorite thing. So she's down there. That started on this Monday, was her first day of work, and she had great, and it's not even like work to her. It's fun, which is exactly what you want, right? You want your children, you want if your job doesn't feel like work and it's fun, kind of like me in the sewing, she's found what that is for her. And that's so exciting. So it's her in the research and the lab and the science and the stuff. That's so fun. So it's not even like her first day of work. It was just, fun. And I was so fun. Anyway, so she's doing that down at Clemson this summer. So excited. But she was up here for the week. We did get into something exciting. I can't tell you yet, but it's so exciting. I had a little bit of like proud mom moments for a minute. So I'm like, when can I share it? It's not even like, I can't even share it for 2 months, but so exciting. So many things we got into and she was excited about this too. So fun. Okay. So we did that, and then Noah was here and we had fun and we went out to dinner and we just had quality time. So it was like, I hadn't seen them since January. So it was a little heavy on my mama's heart. So they did leave and I did cry and it was sad and whatever, but they're down there living their best Clemson summer life. So Lily's like geeking out on science. Noah's taking a couple classes as well as working a part-time gig at a restaurant, and because he's going to graduate this coming up fall, hopefully. And so that's exciting. And so that was fine. And so then I came back, had an extra week away because my kids were here and I wasn't planning on that. So this week I have been like knee deep, neck high deep, I don't know, really, really deep in the water, getting back on track for the July keepers. Now the October, no. The April Club went out. I showed you that keeper. So fun. Everybody loved all the things that are in it. So that is so great. We're going to tangent here for a little bit of a shop talk, is the April Club fabric was so fun. I loved it. It was bright and fun and colorful. If there's anything you could ever do for April, that's what it was. So yay. I do have some fat quarter bundles I'm going to be cutting up here in the next couple days for extra fabric from the Keeper Club. So whether you got the Keeper Club and you want to make some matching accoutrement, because I know this fabric isn't available anymore. It was a Free Spirit Murano Odeli fabric that it was it's very an exclusive fabric, and so once they ran it, they don't do another print run, and so it's gone. A lot of people have reached out to me saying, where can I get the fabric? And it's not available anymore, unfortunately. That's one of the things I like to do with the Keeper Club, is I like to find fabrics. I don't try to make it hard for you, but I want you to find I want to get fabrics that you can't get yourself, or that maybe you wouldn't have chosen yourself. Make it different. I don't want to make what everybody else makes. And so that fabric is now gone, but some people want to make, like, whether it's a mini herringbone bag to go inside, or it's a floss keeper, or a zipper pouch, or whatever you wanted to make to coordinate with your keeper. If you love that fabric, no worries. I do have, I'm going to say probably about 20 bundles, not that many, but enough. Fat quarter bundles I'm going to put together from the extra fabric from the bolts I have, as well as or if you didn't get the Keeper Club but you love the fabric so much, you can make your own keeper. Now remember, we are going to be doing a Make with Tiger Lily soon. TBD. I'm not going to make a month commitment. I still need to phone a friend to figure out when I'm going to do it. But sooner rather than later, we will be moving on to the Make with Tiger Lily Keeper Club to make a project keeper. I'm going to kit it up again, kind of like we did the herringbone. I'm still trying to I'm pulling the fabrics, as I love to do. I'm going to pull an exclusive fabric bundle that is only going to be part of that Make with Tiger Lily kit. So stay tuned. That is coming. But in the meantime, I will have fat quarter bundles of the April Club coming. But I've been working on July. Can I say it's my favorite? I feel like I say that every time, but it is so, so good. So excited about July. There are going to be some spots opening up in the Keeper Club that will go to Patreon first. I can't even tell you when. Sometimes, I mean, it doesn't go until July, so we've got some time. But if you want to be notified, to be in the Patreon, and that's when you're going to get notified. Also, there will be a mini drop. I'm probably 2, maybe 3, depending on this video and this upload, how long this takes me today to do. I do have plans to hopefully get, as I'm pointing to them, they're right there, get some of those photographed. It's a vintage keeper, a mini keeper, as well as vintage stitching project bags. Those are over there. There's lots. There's a mini drop coming in the next 2 to 5 days, depending. I gotta take the photos, load it all up, get everything ready, but it's sometime soon. Sooner rather than later. Again, that will be announced on Patreon. So if you aren't a part of the Tiger Lily Patreon, you can join the Patreon for free. There's, to get that access to be able to see at least the titles of what's coming up, that's there. I am trying to pop over there just to give you a little heads up, give a little touch base with you guys, give you a little exclusive content over there, which is why I'm announcing those things over there first. So again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can link down below and grab on it. That's Keeper Club. Oh, and then last but not least, if you somehow missed it and you are lucky enough to have made it to the end of the video, there are still a handful, literally handful of Advent boxes left. I know, I'm blown away. Now I am doing more boxes than I did last year, so that may be why there are more, but there is still a handful of Advent boxes left. Now what's in the Advent? The Tiger Lily Advent box is going to ship out in the middle of November. It is going to have 12, I call it the 12 days of Stitchmas is what the Advent is called. 12 days of Stitchmas. Last day, day 12, spoiler, is the exclusive keeper. So if you've ever wanted to get a Tiger Lily keeper, this is a great way to get yourself a keeper. It will be Christmas themed. Not like over the top juvenile Christmas, but it is a Christmas themed keeper. I'm not going to tell you anymore, but that's it. It is so fantastic. That's day 12. And then the other 11 days are all other curated small business goodies. I am so excited. I have just received 2 more products. I won't say I'm glad Lily's not home for this summer, because that's not true. but her room is now become Boxlandia because I have boxes already for the July box and the October box, and now the Advent box of, stuff that these small businesses are sending me, thankfully, because, this is my second year doing these things. I'm getting ahead of the game, which is always exciting. I feel a little more prepared. And these things are starting to come in, which is so exciting. So the Advent is one keeper and then 11 days of other good, fantastic, curated small business goodies. They're all going to be individually wrapped. I'm having so much fun. I'm really excited, and this is my favorite thing to do for you guys. And so anyway, there's a handful of boxes left. I will link them down below. Once they're sold out, they're sold out. I won't have, I've bought the quantity. I've already received the goodies from some of the small businesses, so I can't get more, and that's it. So my movie is over. Goodness, I'm afraid to edit this. Oh, it's going to be what it's going to be. Hopefully you didn't have to pause and come back, but if you did, that's okay. I do that all the time when I'm watching movies from my friends. I love pausing and coming back and watching again and doing that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, please enter in the giveaways if you want to get entered some of those great things that Fat Quarter Shop sent us. That is so exciting. And that's what I've got for you, friends. So we're going to step right back. I will be back next Friday. I promise. Hopefully with something exciting to share with you. I'm going to maybe work on that Ellen Chester stitch. Maybe, I haven't decided if I'm going to do a StitchCon small yet. I'm not quite sure. I do need to work on my StitchCon table make gifts. I'm so excited. I have a new idea. If you don't know, that's where the mini keepers came from, with my new idea for the table make gifts for last StitchCon. So there might be a new idea for this year. There is a new idea. It's just me finding the time to squeeze it in and get her done. But I'm going to work on my table make gifts, and I'm so excited. And then I'm going to keep chugging along with the Keeper Clubs, and I'm going to get back on Instagram and share with you what I'm doing, and coming back to Patreon, and I'm doing all the things. So I am back, recharged, re-energized from the fabulous retreat, the fabulous family time, and most of all, the fabulous just being able to see my babies and my friends and all the things. Oh, I hope that you have had a lovely, I can't believe it's been 4 weeks, but I hope you've had a lovely 4 weeks. And I got lots of quilting and stitching and knitting and making and family and love and all the things. To all my mothers out there watching, happy Mother's Day. If I missed you, I mean, I did. I missed it, but I hope you had a wonderful day. And that's where we are. Okay, friends. So until next time, happy stitching.